what have you guys been up to lately?
Jace, what's
You've
on
been
your
good?
sweatshirt?
What?
What's on your sweater?
Alaska
Frisbee?
Ultimate.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good design.
It's like a dog jumping into a sun.
It's a person,
It's a person
Oh, I
with
didn't
a
see
frisbee.
that.
but
Okay.
yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
This cold open I was trying is a fucking dud. All right, let's
Yeah, it is.
let's start the episode.
I didn't know you were trying to do a cold open.
I was
so
just
I
trying
was
to
not gonna
ask you
yes
guys
and.
a question. Okay, you know what? I'll ask a more interesting cold open question. How about that? Okay, so what's your guys' favorite Chipotle topping?
I think I went to Chipotle for like the second time ever, like a week ago.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
What? You seem
can't
like a
answer that
Chipotle
question.
guy.
Yeah, there's a shitload of Chipotles in
You're
Seattle.
like, you give up big Chipotle vibes. So I don't know if you know that, and
That's
I don't know if you
Oh.
care about that. So you might want to. There's something about your personality you need to back off on a little bit.
someone who's like, you didn't give me a big scoop of the meat.
Yeah. Oh, I know about the different meats, man.
Okay.
I've got different I don't ever order it like online. You got to go in person.
There's that tip at Chipotle where if you want to get double meat, but you want to make sure they're not going to skimp, because like when they know you're going to do
Yeah.
double meat, they'll give you smaller scoops. So you have them. I'll do a scoop of chicken, and then be like, actually, I think I'll do double chicken, and then they
And
give
then
they
they
do
add
the second
one.
Yeah.
Also, I used to go there after night court all the time because I would get home at like 8 o'clock after work.
Yeah.
And it was just really convenient. And there was the employees that work at this Chipotle at like 8 o'clock at night are kind of like young, which is kind
Yeah.
of odd to me.
Are they children?
They're like, I mean, they're probably like, 18, 19, 20, like
Isn't
young
that like
college
legal
students.
now? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And one time I was up there and I was like in my suit.
Right.
And I had a tie on from like, it has like the, not astrology, but like the, constellations. And
Yeah. Astronomy. Yeah.
yes. Well, yeah, but I was thinking literally the constellations. It's like
Right,
stars
right.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Pisces, Capricorn.
my and the person who's doing
Ligmas.
like my order is this young girl. She's probably like 19 or so.
Okay.
And
yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, "Oh, are you like an astronomer?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Your tie." And I was like, "Oh, no." And she's like, "Oh, are you like a scientist?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "No, just wearing this tie." And she was like,
Oh, just a huge fucking nerd.
yeah. And she's like, "Well, what do you do?" And I was like,
No.
I'm a lawyer." And she's like, "Oh, cool.
Oh.
Here you go." Oh, thanks. Like trying to make small talk, but also like really specific small talk. She like wanted
Yeah.
to talk about me being a scientist.
I mean, that's cool. You could have been like, you could have inspired her.
Yeah.
You know.
I
Instead, you shut her down
yes
twice,
anded
and
her.
you were like,
I
"I'm
should have
a
yes
lawyer."
anded. That's a good point. I've haven't thought about this in a while, but like I never thought about that angle.
You always yes and in public, or if you need to out yourself as a lawyer, you gotta make lawyering seem cool, and you can be like,
Slam
and I'm
on the
about to
table.
sue you for slander, calling me an astronomer, and that's like a cool thing.
It was a long day, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a Chipotle near us that just closed down because of I think too many people got food poisoning. And I remember when I picked up the food there once, it was only one guy working, and he looked like a child.
Oh God.
And I was like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm Denali. I want to pick up my order." And he's like, "Oh yeah, here you go," just in that tone, and just hands me the bag. And I'm like it was. I was,
He's like, "You should eat it here."
and that was it. Yeah.
I think burritos near us could have been like the Toys R Us food chain knockoff that would have kept them in business.
Burritos near us.
Burritos.
Or burritos near you. You said something in there that sounded like
Yeah.
Chipotle near us.
Chipotle near
sounds
us
like
is like a chain store for burrito toys. Why'd I say Chipotle? This is a bad cold open. This has nothing to do with Blade. Now the audience
One
is
time,
they're gonna
I
think.
went to
okay.
Chipotle after
One more Chipotle story, okay.
One time I went to Chipotle after night court, got
Yeah.
my burrito, went back to work,
Yeah.
and so I was there pretty late. It was like 8:30 or so when I got there, and I was working, and I saw a ghost.
You saw a ghost.
oh.
No, wait, no, I can't do. No, Ryan, this is a trap. This is a trap, Chase.
It's not
we
a
can't do this. We
trap.
can't do this.
I've
We
got
gotta
a
move on.
taco story.
Everybody I work with
Yeah.
knows this story because it happened like not too long ago. But yeah, I was there late at night. And I
This
saw
has
a
gotta be
freaking
brief.
ghost.
Okay. We're never
What did
gonna
it
get
look
to Blade.
like?
Okay.
So it was like I've seen other like now in a couple years since I've seen other like funny meme pages like joking about people saying similar things at, like late at night.
Yeah.
But it looked like someone who was watching me down the hallway because I had like a window into the interior of the office, so looking
Okay.
down on interior hallway.
Was this in like the winter?
I'm not sure. It was like maybe
It's a carbon monoxide poisoning, I
equinox-ish.
think.
Equinox.
Because the sun was down.
So
Yeah,
okay, are you
so-
thinking you saw your pasty white ass in a mirror?
Nope.
Sorry,
He was fucking hideous.
You
And
walked
yeah,
into
so I
that
can
one.
see down this long hallway from my interior, like through my interior window.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there typing at the desk, and I feel like someone's watching me, so I look down the window, and there's this like it looks like someone is looking around the corner, and then as soon as I turn my head, they like whoo, and like whoo, and like get out of the way and hide again, and it scared the absolute piss out of me, and so I packed up my stuff, and as I was going, I thought I saw it again as I was like trying to leave. That's a long one I'm not going to
Yeah.
get into. And then the next day I showed up to work, and of course before I like told everybody the story, I had to go ask the resident wizard on our floor.
Yeah.
I was like, I was working here late at night, man, and I thought I saw something. He's like, oh yeah, your office is haunted. He's like, that hallway, there's a ghost on that hallway. Like the other woman who had that office before you, like wouldn't work here at night at all.
It's him. It's that guy. He's the guy.
He's like, I don't make enough to pay rent, so I live in the building, and when you work here late at night, it really cramps my style, and I was just looking to make sure whether or not you were there.
I hold a mirror on the side of like a wall and I peek it out so they see themselves.
This guy is like a legit wizard, dude. He's loaded. He's got libraries. He's the one who gave me all his alien books because he's like, I'm downsizing my library. Here you
And he's
have
a
all my
lawyer?
alien books.
He's a wizard lawyer.
Oh yeah, he does
cool.
wizard classes at his house.
That's fucking amazing.
My friends go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I'm gonna edit around this, but that's actually really interesting, Ryan. But
You know,
I
this
went to
connects
the-
pretty
I went
well
to
to
a-
the movie,
Yeah,
right?
I went to a
Okay,
bar the other
yes.
night where his brother was playing
Playing.
saxophone or guitar
Oh,
or something.
okay,
I wasn't
great.
really paying
Yeah,
attention.
I mean,
Oh, he's a
you introduced
wizard
him
on
as
the
a wizard,
sax.
so-
Okay,
yeah.
you were.
Okay.
No, he's
all
an actual
right.
wizard.
That's figure of speech. Okay, let's start the episode. Please God. Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland. Blade. We watched Blade. I'm your co-host Denali.
I'm your co-host Ryan.
Is Jace
Jose?
thinking of a vampire voice to introduce a bit? I see the wheels turning. What angle is he gonna go for here? Okay. You, Ryan. Okay.
Oh, we're gonna keep talking. Me and Denali are gonna wait. He's kind of pointing at you and saying like he
Okay.
making
you
the mouth
keep
thing. and then-
talking about me? Yeah, I mean,
Jace.
okay.
I love that guy. He.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you want us to say the third co-host?
Well,
okay.
okay,
And the
yeah,
third
so-
co-host is. And the third co-host. You keep just putting
Jace.
this.
Not anymore. It's not funny anymore. God damn it. I'm alluding to a hilarious scene in the movie Blade.
Yes, that's. I was like, what bit is he possibly doing right now? You forgot the red contact lenses. But folks, welcome. We're Good Boys Gone Bland. We watched 10 movies of a similar actor or subject, but we didn't do that this week because we're on the freestyle schedule where we pick whatever dang movie we want to watch. And this week was my pick. I chose to watch Blade, something that I have not seen in 20 years. And full disclosure, guys, I mean, you know, you guys have seen the State of the Podcast episodes. It's been my most requested season is vampires. I'm constantly begging these guys to do vampires every season. I don't know if we're ever going to get to it, but Blade would be my first movie that I would pick. And I wanted to see a vampire on the big screen. It's been a while. I like these sexy weirdos. And I wanted to ask you guys.
Me?
You guys like,
Wait,
you guys like
sorry.
vampires?
Like these sexy weirdos. I was not really thinking that you were talking about the vampires.
I
was
mean,
like,
You
I
guys-
want to
you guys like-
record. I like these sexy weirdos.
You fuck with vampires? Ryan, do you believe in vampires?
No, of course not.
No, of course. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't believe in werewolves. I'm on the fence about like Wendigos and shapeshifters.
Oh, yeah, sure. Vamps, though, I mean, I think they're cool. I've always been a vamp guy. Like, if I was, like, kind of choosing between vampire and werewolf, I always thought vampire, like, lifestyle-wise, is fucking cool.
Oh, interesting.
You guys...
I
Jace,
disagree
you
with
look
that.
like-
I'm a
yeah.
werewolfer.
You think that's a better lifestyle?
I think if you look at the downside, I think you have to pick your movie first of all, or your canon, because like
Right.
for the most part, like I don't want to go blood crazy werewolf every full moon. I want to be able to turn into them, and I don't know. That's kind of
that's pretty debilitating.
It's pretty Twilight-y.
If you're like,
And
well, if it's like blood crazy every full moon, you have to chain yourself to the bed, like a la,
Yeah.
like those old movies. But
this is a
if
cool
Twilight
party
rules,
trick.
yeah.
Yes.
Also, like Julie didn't know this was a vampire movie.
Oh my god.
Her and I had seen like parts of it, like randomly once on TV, and so
Yeah.
I broke the news that it's a vampire movie to her, and her only question was like, "What are the rules?"
Oh, there are none.
Yes.
She wants like she's very like practical oriented. Like, okay, it's a vampire movie. Yeah, what kind?
Right.
And so, what kind of vampire movie is this? A soft vampire movie?
It's a Marvel.
This is hard vampire.
Like in that Twilight is kind of a soft vampire movie, right?
You should define soft and hard vampire movie for what you
Yes,
mean.
define
right now,
hard.
'cause-
I would say hard is like rules. Like there's like set
Yes,
rules,
there's
and you're
set
deep into the lore.
rules, and that's what the
Yeah,
movie's
yeah.
about is the rules. Like
Yeah.
even
movie's
what
about
we
the
do in the
rules.
shadows is pretty rules oriented.
This movie is hard because there's a shitload of vampire science. Like they add science to the vampire myth. They're like, yo, vampires, it's not a curse, dude. It's a fucking infection. It's like a genetic disease they have where their blood can't.
They're a different
have-
species. They're a different type of human.
They describe it as their blood can't sustain hemoglobin, which is, I believe, anemia. And
It's also nonsense.
it's
There's a lot of nonsense in this. Like everything that wasn't direct expository or like a coded line that was meant to act like characters naturally interacting with each other, but was really giving us exposition. Everything else was complete nonsense.
I think I do like that. Just like throw everything at the wall.
It's
with the
very
concept here.
superhero movie-esque. It's like a superhero vampire movie.
Yeah, that's funny,
It
isn't
is.
it? Yeah, it would be like if he was a superhero in like a Marvel context, and that would be interesting.
It would be crazy if this character
would-
came from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Can you fucking imagine?
Wait, did they acquire Blade? Is no,
Yeah, Blade's back.
Going off the meme chart here. He originated as a Marvel comic, right? Or was it
in the 70s. I was kind of wondering because like this movie is about like hunting vampires, and like all of us, we've seen vampire movies. Like that was kind of a big boom in the 2000s and the 2010s. A shitload of like vampires getting hunted down. And I was wondering, because it's been a while since we've had a mainstream vamp movie. How would you guys take down vampires in the 2020s? I'm wondering. Okay, we've got a lot of technological advances since these times. All right, what are new advanced ways to take down a vampire in the modern day? Because this is the 90s. This is different techniques. Jace, down in front.
straight out the gate?
Yeah.
A lot of people are growing weed in their house, which means they have UV
Yeah.
lamps. So consequently, humans have never been safer, or vampires have never been as high.
I was also going to say the UV gun in this movie was really cool. And I
Right.
never thought about that before. Like, I guess that's why they're. I mean, the
Buying
sun.
UV
In this one, like the
easy,
sun
yeah.
isn't magical. It's not like sunlight is like a magical
Right.
thing. It's apparently the UV from the
Yeah.
sun. They're really sunburned.
UVB.
Because at one point the villain covers himself in sunblock. They literally
Yes.
Blade says the least cool line of any cool character in the history of cinema. He says sunscreen.
He says it cool, dude. His reads are good.
And like that's not that cool of a thing to have happen. Also makes no sense.
Yeah, did he put sunscreen on his eyeballs?
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't
how
make
the
any
fuck?
sense. Especially because the
was on his-
other guy started melting before the sun even came up.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. Okay. So, great. I think the UV technology that's grown a lot. You're right, Jace. However, I think if a lot of vampires are getting high, they're gonna get the munchies, and I think this is a double-edged sword.
Shit. Oh,
Paint a sexy vampire on a wall, okay? And on top of the wall, you put a giant rock, and then the vampire runs at the wall, and the vibration will knock the rock over and squish the vampire.
I was
think
thinking
that's
that
a good-
everybody's into
yeah.
chains these days, including
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So if we paint some
Okay.
silver chains gold, just like really shitty paint,
Oh, shit.
they'll wear their
Concealed.
chains out to the raves. They'll be like, and then the paint will wear off, and it'll be silver.
Yeah.
and it'll decapitate them.
Oh, so you think if you just tug on them, that'll decapitate? That's enough to.
I didn't think about that.
You think that would do it? Okay. You know those giant swing rides that are like big on TikTok, where you kind of like swing like into a canyon or like a cliff. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're like, oh, here we go, and they like swing all the way out into like the Grand Canyon, and it looks like they're falling.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Put a vampire in it and push them into the sun, and then they'll burn up in the swing. Right? And you look distressed, like you think it's not
Yeah.
gonna work.
That doesn't.
Okay, yeah.
I just don't get it.
Look, I'm just trying to think of new
because the vampire would
solutions.
be like, hey,
yeah,
the sun's
okay.
coming up, and this whole area that we're gonna swing from is gonna be affected.
No, the swing starts out in the shade.
Is he blindfolded?
Or we're like,
Well, yeah.
we've got a treat for you.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I think he's gonna be distracted. But okay, Ryan, you need to come up with one. Me and Jace have both given out suggestions. You need to come up with one if you're so fucking smart.
Well, are we going by Blade rules?
Okay, yeah, Blade rules.
Well, they regenerate in Blade, and I don't
when
entirely understand why sometimes the vampire's blade killed exploded,
Yeah.
and sometimes they didn't.
Yeah.
But sometimes like they came back, so we just need a way to like make sure they're entirely dead. Also,
Okay.
we need to have a big vampire blender.
Ooh.
Okay.
After they die via any of your tactics, if they're not
Right.
one of the exploded vampires, you do have to put them in the blender.
So you're gonna have a giant blend tech blender to.
It'll maybe we'll put it on the back of a truck or something like a street sweeper, but upside
Okay.
down. Just turn those suckers around.
So you have like a wood chipper basically for vampires that are silver tipped.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Ooh. You know, they don't have to be, because Blade's sword was just made out of titanium, which
Yeah, he just kinda-
wasn't what I was expecting. I mean, you wouldn't want a sword made out of silver, but going
Is
back to
titanium
some of
really
the
fucking heavy?
vampires, no, it's very light, exploding on sword contact or cutting,
Yeah.
I think if something is cool enough, they will explode. That's why Blade's whole outfit looks like that. Like none of it's functional. He wears like a black trench coat with like a bulletproof vest
Yeah.
and like a super cool sword. I think like that actually kills them.
We also noticed that vampires might be really, really susceptible to rave music, like European rave music.
Yes.
Because a lot of the time when rave music wasn't playing, Blade was completely ineffective.
Right.
But then, like, all of a sudden, the music would start playing, and he'd like stand up with a little bit more like fervor, and then start chopping fools.
Yeah, I think Acid House is their kryptonite, or it's Blade's like spinach. Like
Yeah.
he's like Popeye.
yes.
And once once the pump panel song comes on, it like energizes him to kill everything. Okay, well, would you guys be a vampire if you could?
Ooh.
No.
Would you guys?
What?
You guys want to do vampire? I was thinking about this the other day. Like legitimately, if you had a choice, if you had a chance to become a vampire, like would you
Like
do it?
a vampire?
Again,
no.
we got to
A
establish.
vampire lord?
Okay. No, like in Blade, you
Do
know?
I get to make thralls?
They're all
Yes,
even
yes.
in this. In
It seems
Blade.
like there's like a hierarchy,
Well,
right?
do
There's
I-
like a high
do I have
council.
the-
Yeah, there's a
ability to make a
hierarchy in our
castle?
current government, in our socio-political system. That was just the same for them.
Do
Yeah,
I
I
have
guess
the ability to make like a castle in like Bulgaria or Romania or something?
Yeah, 1 second.
And-
Here, Ryan, grab that pen.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna write out your income. We're gonna write out
Okay.
how much you're depositing each month. And then if you're a vampire,
Yes.
we'll calculate how long it's gonna take you
Yeah, that's
to
important.
afford this castle. Because it's a
Okay.
realistic dream, buddy. 6% into an S&P fund. You're
yeah. What would your guys is like? I mean, Ryan, that reminds me. Like, if you guys were vampires, what would be your vampire build? Like, what's your like ideal? You know,
Dracula is not like
Yeah.
desirable. Really, like
You don't think Dracula's
he's got
cool?
dude, he's got the crib.
He's got fucking orgies and like cool aesthetic.
That's
and
what I
he
mean. He's
Wears,
got
like,
the crib.
steampunk
But like the Gary
goggles.
Oldman,
Yeah.
I don't like the aesthetic of that whole
the aesthetic.
that is, I think this is the first vampire cinema, any type of media that I've seen about vampires where they age. So we haven't talked at all about the plot, but at some point they mentioned that
We'll get to the
they're pure blood vampires, which I had to Google, and in this universe, vampires can have babies. They just age really slow. So there was a little bit
Oh
of
my
like,
God.
I'm a pure blood vampire. You're not. You were turned. So
What about Blade's mom?
Maybe when you're turned, you don't age, or they say they age really slow,
they
right?
said they
It's
age,
only been,
yeah,
like,
they
30
age really
years.
slow. Yeah.
Can I go back for a second? Was that really Blade's mom?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was.
Yeah.
And the same actor.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why
Blade's
not?
like
Same actress.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a vampire.
They
Dog, she
say,
fucking doesn't
they
age.
explain in canon that he ages more like a human.
But they're like, she's like
Yeah,
Eric.
yeah, that's his name.
But how does she know that's him?
She probably was like, when she was pregnant, she's like, I'm going to name it Eric. And then
But how does she know that's him? How does she know her kid's Blade?
Because she's been around, right? Because she's been secretly a vampire. She's like, Blade, I've been a vampire this whole time. I'm
Yeah,
like a
but
fucking
how does
vampire."
she know that's her son?
Because everybody knows Blade.
Yeah.
But no, because the guy found him in the alley.
Remember the Deacon was like, I know everything about Blade?
Yeah, there's
'Cause,
like
they've been
one
following him
half
forever,
vampire. There's
you know?
one Sunwalker,
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
they call
Daywalker. And they're like, this guy was bitten when his mom was
I
pregnant.
don't know. I don't
think
buy
that's a
it.
thing.
I don't buy it. I'm
Um,
suspicious. I don't think that's his
Okay.
mom.
Well, anyways, I would say if I was a vampire, I want to be a cyberpunk vampire. I want to be a vampire in the future in like 2888. I want to be like snorting cyber blood ketamine with a side mohawk in a trench coat and like robbing VR banks. Like I want to do like cyberpunk as a vampire. Like I think that'd be
You
fun.
know, you can
Sun will
commit
be blocked out
crimes
anyway,
in
so.
right now.
No, dude, as a vampire, dude, if I rob fucking VR banks and they're shooting lasers at me, I can just be like, "Pew, pew, 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 pew," and then like they'll be like, what? And then I'll fucking leap at them and drain them. You know?
Yeah,
Can't
but
do
you
this.
can do crimes right now.
I can do crimes right now, but I'm not a fucking vampire, dude. I
Not
can't
lasers yet.
tank like 600 lasers.
What
Yeah.
you just said is cyberpunk though. That means there's gonna be less blood. Like more robotic arms. You're gonna be hungrier more often.
Yeah, good point.
This is true, yeah, but it's gonna there's gonna be no sunlight because of all the pollution, and I think that'll make the lifestyle a bit easier. I can kind
You
of
can hide
keep
in
a
the
regular.
shadows of
Everybody
buildings,
working
too.
at McDonald's is gonna be a vampire.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be easier to find like a job in this future because like to kind of sustain like constant graveyard shifts, I think it's gonna be like a lot of burnout for me. As
Is
a
there
vampire.
also like an Emily Elizabeth conundrum here?
what if someone loves somebody enough, they'll get
No,
big?
if the military
From
got
Clifford?
a hold of vampires.
Okay, okay,
Oh.
all right, yes,
Because remember, for those of us who haven't watched every episode since season 3,
yeah. If
when
you
we
haven't
watched
seen the
Clifford.
episode, okay.
This is important.
we hypothesized that the military will corrupt anything, including a girl who can love a dog until it's giant.
I mean, I think that's just straight up evidence. It's like you just
Yeah, but so what about vampires? If the
Okay.
would the U.S. government have a vampire division? Would
I
they
think-
turn people to vampires and make them as soldiers, or would they recruit them?
I think if the U.S. government saw an opportunity to make super soldiers, they would be like, no thanks, this is not the right thing to do. We are going to hold back on this, even though it would give us an immense advantage over all of our adversaries.
Yeah, so
I
how-
think
how would it
this
work?
would be a bridge too far.
How
I-
how would it work?
I think as soon as you enlist, you become a vampire. I think that's what would be. I mean, I would just, if I was a vampire, I would just try not to bite anyone in the military. I would just make sure they're not, and then no problem.
Well, I was confused
What?
about that because
Yeah. Then the military would never get vampires.
Oh,
Fair.
that's how we avoid the military getting them.
Oh yeah, and then I just won't bite someone who's fucking 17 years old playing Call of Duty in fucking Enumclaw, Washington, and I'll make sure, and then that'll be fine too. Chase, what are you thinking about? You trying to think about how to keep vampires out of the military?
I'm just thinking like there is a line in this movie like you
Yeah.
need to play it cool, otherwise the human politicians will be after us. And
They definitely
I don't
know.
know. I guess maybe it just doesn't matter because technically this is in the Marvel universe and there's Iron Man.
Yeah,
So-
this is like a fucked up world, dude. Because like you gotta think about like the Chintari or whatever invaded New York and like leveled it, and there's Thanos who committed like fucking universal like just like snapped everybody out of existence, and then vampires are like so low on that fucking rung. I think it's fine. I don't think we need to worry about it. Should we get to the movie? Should we talk about the movie?
Sure.
I mean, you want to go through the plot? You mean?
Yeah, it's Blade. You guys have seen Blade. Everyone's seen Blade.
I'd
all
never
right,
seen
they're
Blade.
remaking it.
You would never what?
Wow.
Surely you'd seen Blade
First watch.
Trinity though.
No,
You haven't seen Blade
I
Trinity?
had seen parts of this movie.
We watched Blade Trinity in my basement a lot.
Ryan wasn't paying attention. Not a good movie viewer.
Is there a battle on catwalks?
With Ryan Reynolds? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
I was
seen.
gonna say I wasn't gonna say Ryan Reynolds because I thought that was maybe like an X-Men thing, but yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Blade, 1998. It's one of the first Marvel movies. Not the first, but it's one of the first big ones that came out. It's about a vampire hunter named fucking Blade, dude. It's Wesley Snipes. He dresses cool. He's got a cool sword, and there's Techno, and he's hunting down vampires, but he's half vampire record scratch. His mom was pregnant with him, and she got bit. And you know what that means? That means the baby is going to be half vampire. All of their strengths, none of their weaknesses. That's the rules. And so Blade's using his powers and trying to control his thirst by injecting 4 cups of garlic every day into his jugular vein, apparently.
Why not just
And
eat
that's I don't know what the fuck, dude. Wait, cause like she gets bit, right? And like the guy's like, this is the cure. And he has like the biggest syringe and it's garlic puree. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna squirt it in her mouth, and he just stabs it straight into her neck. And he's like, "This is gonna hurt a lot." And I'm like, "Is it because she's a vampire, or is it they're just
squirting garlic,
chunky garlic.
injecting garlic into your Yeah, I mean, it's a cool movie. I just the first scene where there's like a guy being led to a rave. I just want to note that he's credited as Heat-Seeking Dennis, like that's his character name, and that was never brought up in the movie. I just think that's a fucking amazing name. And they bring this dude down. And this is like, shit's iconic, right? You got the fucking Confusion Pump Panel remix, like the that song. And I don't know, dude. I'm looking at a 90s rave. I'm like, this looks pretty fucking cool. It looks like The Matrix. Everyone's wearing like mod haircuts, and it's like in a butcher shop. And then you get the reveal they're all vampires when like the sprinkler just like rains blood from the top, which I think is like such a fucking amazing aesthetic. And I randomly saw this meme today where someone was like mentioning that's like blood's like food to them. So it's like if you had like nacho cheese or like bean dip raining from like the ceiling, like if you're at like a rave, like that's probably like wild, right? Like how would you like is that even like something you want? I don't know.
I think it's more than food. It's also like for them, blood is like the universal liquid.
Okay.
So it's a bodily fluid. It's food. And
Yes.
it appears to be some sort of aphrodisiac.
Oh shit, you're so right, dude. Oh my god, they get so horny when the blood comes out.
I mean, I kind of get it.
Yeah?
Like you're at a club, and regardless of whether or not it's water or hopefully not blood, like
right.
You're at a rave or something, and it's a planned part of the thing where everybody gets just get like drenching
It's like
wet,
soaked in blood.
Yeah, like somebody starts throwing hamburgers over the railing at you, and you're in the. I've lusted at a hamburger before. I get it.
I have felt something close from smelling hamburgers. From like when I was on, if you're like on a walk and you smell someone at a grill, like at a fucking neighborhood barbecue, and you smell it from like 2 blocks away, there is a type of animalistic. It's like when you're like a saber-toothed tiger and you see like a little jackrabbit. Like I get that sometimes. Apparently, 3 extras sued the movie studios in the blood rave scene because I guess the blood permanently stained their skin.
Permanently?
I don't know.
permanently.
That's what they said. They said permanent blemishes on their skin from the stage blood. I don't know what they were using.
Going to our resident legal expert.
Yes.
For opinions on extra lawsuits, it's Denali.
Yes.
Denali,
yes.
What are the viable causes of action in this lawsuit?
I believe it. I believe the people because they treat extras like shit. This is also the 90s, man. Dude, they're probably pouring like jet fuel on these people because it was like cheap. They got it for like in the discount bin. So that does not surprise me.
I've had incredible gas ever since I ate that extra sandwich on set, and it's never been like this before. I'm suing you.
Oh, well, where'd you get the sandwich?
In the scene that I was in?
Oh, you ate the prop sandwich?
It was
That's you're not supposed to.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all epoxy. That's
Hey guys, we're on in 10.
As a matter of fact, okay. What are we gonna do for the sandwich scene? Oh, good. There's the sandwich. So the blade entrance in this scene, I think, is fucking incredible. He comes out. All these vampires are trying to like eat this dude, and they're all in like this weird blood orgy. And Blade just shows up, and he's like fully decked out in those clothes. It's fucking cool, man. Yeah.
Bone dry.
And they all start fighting, and it's I think it's cool that you have like a rave thing where there's like a lot of weapons on the wall, and people just start crapping them, like flinging them.
It's one of the 2 fights in the movie that Blade wins, which is nice.
These were against normies.
To a movie called Blade.
I mean, he's fighting hard people. Like this is like
he fights
the general
the same
public.
fucking people halfway through the movie, and where the vampire Bible is that nobody cares about whether or not it gets destroyed by Blade.
Yeah, they fucked that Bible up.
And he's getting absolutely beat to shit by people who are just like kicking.
No techno in the library.
Exactly. That's what it is.
He's trying to play it. He's like beatboxing. So he's like, oh come on, dun, 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 dun.
and like clap your hands to a different beat, and he can't focus long enough to slice you. I mean, like, he 1v900 this like rave club. I mean, I don't know. I feel like all vampires are like pretty good fighters. I think it's pretty cool, but I mean, the stylization of this movie is so anti-Marvel that seeing something like this was actually kind of incredible. It's if they're planning on redoing the Blade movie apparently, and it's going to be released like next year or in 2 years, and I would not accept anything else besides this. I think something that's like so fucking flashy and just has like its own self-contained vision and aesthetic and like cinematic language. Because like I can't imagine Blade like where they have the blood raining scene and they're gonna be like, oh, did you just see that? Yeah, that just happened, or like some kind of weird like Marvel humor or some shit. Like, yeah, like I think taking it this fucking seriously and even going over the top, I think really works.
I think that's an interesting contrast, just because the development of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as we know, it didn't start until 2008 with the release of Iron Man, and this is just like I don't know how many Marvel movies are before that 2008, but obviously they're not even a precursor or a thought to that universe. It was just like, Blade be a pretty sick movie to make.
Hulk movie.
And I just feel like superhero movies now, like I think a lot of it, it's either too serious or they're afraid to kind of commit, so they just kind of make it all like Kevin Feige jokes, and it's just, I don't know.
The shows, it's like right now there's a lot of, we've talked about it before, right, where you say there's like fatigue. There's a lot of fatigue out there for superhero movies because it's not like a main superhero right now. People aren't really interested in it. But the TV shows are hitting. So, and I think like the difference there is that you have a little bit more creative freedom. So like this feels like that creative freedom. Yeah. Like
if we could have superhero movies that are not Marvel or DC, I think they could go in this direction. Like there's another movie called Spawn that came out around the same time as this movie, and that is also a huge fucking swing. It's wild, it's stylized, I love it. And it's also possibly bad, but I like it anyways. So
I think, well, I might be letting in a little bit of my opinion into this section.
Please.
But like so many choices in this movie took me out, and just like you're saying that for different reasons, like I get taken out of modern superhero movies when they make jokes like that. But then in this movie, I get taken out when they take themselves way too seriously. For example, there's a scene where he's chasing a vampire who's kind of gotten away from him, who's driving a cop car, and all the footage is sped up for no reason. It's not like they shot it at a frame rate that would look really great when they sped it up. Yeah. They didn't have the proper permits to be driving around with like quickly. They had to drive around going like 25 miles an hour, and they wanted to make it look exciting, so they sped the footage up.
I thought it looked cool, Ryan. You've clearly never done cocaine before. This was the 90s.
And they're like, it's like little Hot Wheels.
Made sense to them.
They're just like driving around like, oh, now they're here. Oh, now they're here.
Yeah.
And they pumped in tire screeching noises when the cars were like making very clearly legal like right-hand turns. Just things like that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know. This is not like, it's kind of vibey, but also it's something that takes itself too seriously. And you know, when it's like that annoying person who thinks everything they do is like really, really, really great, like they're like, this is gonna be the best movie ever, and you're like, yeah, I mean, if someone else was in charge who maybe didn't think that, I could see this movie actually ironically being better.
Right. You think they went in too hard? I mean, this movie, it does make you like take everything for granted, where it's kind of like, okay, you're just gonna have to accept this. Because Kris Kristofferson, who plays Whistler in this movie, I think in a great role, he was like, his explanation, like his thing was just like, world's full of vampires, we hunt them. And that's it. That's the only fucking thing you get. And he's like, yeah, there's tons of them. And she's like, oh, how does that work? How does the government and all this? He's like, yeah, they're there. I don't know. And that's I think that's like the attitude you need to adopt with this fucking movie. And he's like, yeah, I knew Blade. I found him as a kid. He's eating people. Anyways, he's good now. Like, yeah, and that's all you get.
That stuff I liked. But then like random other scenes would be like, Blade, I'm going to inject you with this chemical that I do every single day. And
Yeah.
like every other time, I'm going to need to increase the dosage to show that you are getting worse. So this is going to be hard. Make sure that you really struggle through this. And Blade's
He's like, what? Oh, that's fucking crazy. What?
Yeah. And so like things were sometimes over-explained. Like the
Yes,
mechanics, like they cared so much more about making sure we knew the rules of the vampire world. And like, yes, the politics do make sense because of this thing, rather than like showing us character. In fact, like some of my favorite scenes in the movie were with the guy who died really closely to the beginning of the movie, who was the lab assistant.
Yeah.
They had this conversations that were not about vampires and were not about what was actually happening in front of them. It was a conversation about their past and like their lives. And that was the only time in the entire movie there was any organic conversation.
I agree. Yeah, go ahead.
I found it really, I mean, barring that this is, you know, like, well, now we know it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I found it really confusing, and I think I would have found it confusing in 1998 if I was an adult watching this, that they go on like a diatribe about how vampires aren't mystical, but the end sequence is a summoning ritual with a lightning storm that creates vampire ghosts that makes a super vampire. And I'm like, if it wasn't mystical to begin with, you really threw that whole thing out the window.
Crosses don't work, but there is a vampire god. That's real. It's real as fuck. It's crazy.
And also, we're translating a text, and when we do that, it's going to give us a 3D reconstruction of a building.
Dude, how many times did they show that 3D fucking reconstruction? They showed it like 16 times this movie. I have that whole
like it's not translatable. You're wasting your time. And meanwhile, it's just like
it's like on the screen.
That otaku in a basement, like,
yeah, what the fuck was that?
Okay, so there's a scene in this movie that comes out of nowhere. The fat person who's like stuck in the basement.
a giant
Dude,
vampire.
Movies hate fat people so much,
Yeah,
so they
it's
make
kind of
this
weird.
like the most like they try to make it so fucking grotesque, and they're like, he's in front of a computer, and they make him so
what
neat.
I
Yeah, go
didn't
ahead.
expect is like I expected the rest of this movie to pretty much happen how it happened. I didn't expect that because why is that not mentioned when this movie's talked about more? Like, you know, like there's no
the fat
memes
computer guy?
involving that guy, and I feel like for a movie as like kind of iconic as this is, like
Yeah.
I
That's a
would
wild
have
scene.
heard about that in the cultural consciousness, and it's just not there. Like nobody talks about that.
It's funny too. He's like the one vampire that uses a computer. Like it's like that's how 1998 felt about computers. And I remember this too. It's like if you were good at computers, you were considered like some kind of fucking freak, like a pervert or something. Like something was wrong with you. And like that was the tech expert, where he's literally just like Skyping and answering like a couple emails. Like he's not really doing much on the computer. And he's like, "Oh,
And then
please, no!"
He's like, tell me where the information is. And he's like, well, I don't know. And then he gets fucking tortured for like 30 seconds, and they
Dude,
turn it
they light
off.
him on
And now
fire.
Blade's like, now tell me where it is. And he's like, I don't know. It doesn't this, and they torture him again. I don't know.
Honestly,
Like so fucking unnecessary. Like,
Yes.
dude, do you think they're not? Do you think Blade's not gonna light your ass up?
like he literally saw Blade probably on the CCTV murder 600 people, and he comes in and he's been torched twice at this point, and he's like, all right, where's the thing? He's like, eat my ass. Like it is like this dude is fucking off the and then what was it, like the Karen who's like with Blade, she like just starts torturing him for like
For
no
no
reason.
reason.
Yeah, like he like
Power
turns Blade
corrupts.
turns around and is like he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I don't know. He moved. Like he's like torture him if he moves, and he didn't move, and she fucking lights
It
him on
really
fire.
reminds me of Will Ferrell's character in Austin Powers. When
yeah.
he
Oh,
has
the
to be
three
asked 3 times, then he'll tell you the answer to the question. Because, like, the guy has no problem giving up the information after he's tortured. But then
Right.
the next question, he's like, I'll never tell.
Yeah, I was like, dude, just please tell him. Oh my god, that thing's not gonna run out of batteries. The fucking UV light, Jesus. I was also like, if they had like because a UV bulb, I feel like is not that hard to have. Like, why didn't they have like Blade's layer just like full of those?
Yeah.
Like because it's all lit. Like, why don't
There's
you
a
just
lot
like
of logic missing. Let's be
have okay, yeah, you're right. But like, I mean, the Lamagra thing was pretty wild. They built it up so much because they're like, blood god. It's gonna be fucking off the chain. Get ready for Lamagra. And the third act just like drags ass like crazy and it builds up. And all they do is give the guy like red contact lenses. And like he does the Jace's like not anymore. But he's the same fucking guy. And I'm like, that's it. That's fucking Lamagra.
That was
and then there was like some
huge
Sobe
disappointment.
graphics. Yeah.
Because everybody loves this movie, and I had never seen the third act at all.
Yeah.
And that was a huge disappointment, apart from like the other body horror stuff going on in the scene with those vials. And Blade kicking ass again, finally.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Please, God. Like, the bizarre and horny third act, I think, was the worst part of the movie. And like, it starts weird because it's like there's the mom reveal. And it gets like sexual,
And
like
it keeps going. I picked my phone
going.
up.
And look, like go off, like fetishes. That's fine.
Go off, King.
But like, there's a scene where he has to suck blood from his compatriot, and that was
The way
you have to,
there's
like,
a scene where he has to suck
we
blood
really
from
want
his
to put
compatriot.
12 thrusts
Yes.
in this movie.
Why is he
and
thrusting?
I think we can't show sex, but we need the
Dude,
12
that was-
thrusts.
That was, if you just showed actual thrusting, I think that would have been less sexual than what we watched. Because it was like moaning, and she's like, don't stop. And it just kept, I'm like, holy fuck, like, this is wild. Like, that's, yeah, I mean, go off, like, if that's your thing, like, vampire fetish, that's cool, like, whatever. But, yeah, like, this whole last thing, like, it was just a lot of bits between Deacon and that Quinn guy. The Quinn guy who keeps losing his arm, they're just kind of talking. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a vampire god," and they don't really do a whole lot in this scene, like in a movie that was full of action. And then I will say, when Blade catches his sunglasses, I did get pretty hype, and the techno
Yeah,
music
that
started
was pretty
playing.
dope.
And then he decapitates Quinn with like a lanyard string, like like those like extendo lanyard things. He like, what was that? Like he pulled out a string, and he cut the dude's head
That's
off.
one thing I don't
That
like
was-
about
Yeah.
Batman style movies, like the old
Okay.
school like Michael Keaton style Batman movies, where like they just pull out a new gadget specifically for this one moment, and like they've been having a
Yeah.
really hard time fighting all these vampires up until now, and then they're like, yeah, I'm gonna whip out this string, man.
Yeah, the anti-vampire string was so sick, and he never used it again. Like, I feel like in that fight he was in, I think it would have been good. And he does rip a guy's throat out like MacGruber too. I just want to like point that out.
And
That
then
was-
uses the bone as a weapon? Didn't he rip the
Yeah.
throat out and then whip it at somebody?
yeah, did he throw the throat
he threw
out?
like some spot. I'm almost positive he ripped out and threw.
Yeah,
Um,
I think if a throat hit me in the face, I mean, I'd be like the psychic damage
you'd
huge.
burst
Going
into
home.
smoke.
If a throat
yeah,
hits me in the face, I'm going home.
I'm going home. I'm leaving. Like, I also, if I'm like a hand-to-hand combatant, like, because that's like all of those guys are like security guards, like they don't have guns.
There's
And I got
probably
hit
a
in the face
drop down
with
menu in my timesheet.
Throat. Yeah,
Like my personal leave, hitting face by throat.
I don't think it would hurt. I don't. Yeah.
Vampire. To Ryan's question earlier, like these vampires are ride or die. Like
Yes.
they see like 14 of their buddies get turned into smoke, and they're not like,
I'm out of there.
I might leave.
Even if I was like a black belt at like Shotokan karate or where the fuck, and I saw this dude doing like spinning back kicks, taking people's heads off, like just obliterating everyone, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm the guy.
Right.
I'm the guy that's gonna
But
fucking
this is a
take this
kung
dude
fu
down.
movie.
Yeah.
This is a like the action scenes are very kung fu. In fact, some of the henchmen are the same henchmen as in like the Jackie Chan movies. Like I
Like, get back in line. Like,
I recognize the henchmen.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, the stunt doubles for the longer fight scenes are all the same ones that are in all the other movies.
Oh, I thought you meant like when one guy gets punched and knocked down, he like spins around the back of the camera and is the next guy
That-
where they just
they
use
definitely
three
do that,
guys
too.
to keep spinning around. There's a one move that Blade does when he takes a guy down. I just want to point this out. If I saw someone else do this, he knocks the guy to the ground and he kicks him in the nuts 18 times with alternating legs, like he's doing the can. Do you guys remember that move that he does where he's like, and the guy like. It's like incredible, like
No, I don't.
I think
I
I
was on
missed
my
that.
phone for quite a bit, man.
Blade, he fucking hates vampires. And he punched this guy, and he didn't have to do that. And it's weird, like kicking a guy in the nuts with like one leg, that makes sense, but to do it with both legs like that, and then other vampires are around him, and they're seeing him do this, and like I don't know, I think that's a big demoralizer. Honestly, it's so effective. I wouldn't do it.
What was the henchman, the number one henchman's name?
Quinn.
Quinn? I really disliked Quinn's like deterioration from a Slavic baddie in the beginning of the film to like a stoner at the end who's like, I'm gonna become a vampire god. He's just like, wait, what?
He had my favorite line in the whole movie. He was trying to explain to Frost, the main bad guy, what Blade was like. And he's like, you don't get it. He's a super soldier. He comes in, he throws shit at you. And I was like, that's actually like a really realistic way of how someone would describe it. Like, that's not a movie line. That's possibly the actor just being like, he came in, he's like, threw shit at me. And it was like crazy. And like that, every other line in the movie was very serious. Yeah,
I heard most of his lines are ad-libbed. Because Quinn was supposed to be in one scene, and the director thought he was so funny.
Maybe he was just
had
like...
him ad-lib. Yeah. And then I love Deacon's like ad-lib with that, because he was like, and he has a sword, Yeah, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. Like, they do that. And like, there's like a weird story with Quinn, because he's the one who's like, he's like burned, right, in the beginning, where he gets lit on fire. And I don't know why Blade did that. Like, I don't know. Like, Blade didn't kill him, where he's just like, fuck you, Quinn. He just lights him on fire and leaves. And Quinn's in the hospital. Like, Blade knew what happened and
what Quinn just room he was in.
Yeah, and he's covered. He looks like a barbecued piece of meat, and he's like running around. Apparently, Quinn actually had like a medical situation, like the actor in that. Like, he was in the full makeup, like the 6 hours of like where he's like charred to a crisp. He dislocated his jaw because he tripped and fell on the ground, so his jaw was like stuck open. He was like in. I guess they caught it on film when he's running down the hall and screaming. That's actually like real. He was actually in actual pain because his jaw was stuck open. And they said they took him to a real ER. But they said like when they walked him through the door of the ER, they said everyone cleared out because all they see is this man screaming and his whole fucking body looks like Anakin Skywalker. And he's like, ah! And they're like, they said it was just like a really wild situation. That's just,
That's fucked up, man. I don't even like thinking about that.
Yeah, well, he was fine. They put his jaw back.
I mean, like what people probably traumatized.
I think so, and it's not like the doctor can go back in the room and be like, "Hey, by the way, that
there's
patient,
absolutely no reason to do an autopsy on a man who's a husk covered in burns, like not even third degree. Like, dude, he's a piece of charcoal. And they're doing an autopsy on him. And they're like, I wonder if we're going to be able to find cause of death.
Oh, man. I really need a reason to go talk to my ex-girlfriend. Maybe I'll check out some of this blood from this dead guy.
Yeah. And like he's like immediately talking about the relationship.
It was that part was very Friday the 13th. And in fact, there's been other Friday the 13th part, 3 or 4?
Blade, I don't know, Ryan. I've only seen the 6th one. You made me like fucking watch, man. I haven't seen the rest.
I think Friday the 13th part 4 starts like this, where they're in a hospital and Jason wakes up and the nurse and the doctor are like fooling around and he kills them.
Oh, so it's a ripoff. I think it was a trap laid by Blade. And sorry, I don't want to belabor this, but when Blade lays the trap for the familiar in the apartment, and he just absolutely fucking destroys her apartment with the familiar. I think that was so funny.
Doesn't she say, is this necessary? And then he's like...
He slams him through her kitchen table and then just like sweeps her shell. This guy doesn't give a fuck. And the movie just ends with him not giving a fuck. His last line, I'm pretty sure, is... Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate up a hill, and he like basically says that, kills the bad guy, and then it's like roll
that
credits.
Was not even an analogy.
2 things.
What is he talking about? Yeah, and the movie just ends, dude. Like they fucking kill the last vampire.
No, he doesn't kill the last vampire. He goes to Moscow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, it's like flash forward.
Yeah.
And then he's killing another vampire. Like I think they just needed an ending. It was
the whole vampire council's dead. Kind of crazy. That's like. That's a huge power vacuum, which is probably what the second one's about, I guess.
I think the second one's about like a mutant new vampire. whose face opens up like the Predator.
Boring.
I remember seeing it. It sounds pretty sick. I remember it was a pretty cool movie. And the third one's about Dracula.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Movie meters. I want to fucking talk about what we thought about this shit.
The
Let's fucking
vampometer?
briefly do this. Yeah, the vampometer.
You
How
first,
vamp
bud.
was this? Yeah, I guess it was pretty vamp. All right, it's about vampires. Main character's a vampire, sucking blood, having orgies, doing all that stuff, and cool vampire aesthetic. Yeah, it's a 10, I guess. It's a 10. It's a lot of vampires.
Wow.
Is it you, Jace? I think it's probably you.
It's Jace.
Was there a lot of sucking? Not much sucking.
I think there was sucking, dude.
There was some suck thrusting, which
Yeah.
the movie was really horny, and I did appreciate how much effort they put into attempting to advance the vampire plot, storyline, and inform you about things vampires can and can't do. And even though it was maybe done really poorly and they broke their own rules 20 times, it was kind of fun.
It was fun. I think volume of sucking footage, I think this is the highest. Even though there was probably one vampire sucking scene, I think the scene was so long that I think every other movie, when you combine all the sucking scenes, it's not even close. I think this is the most sucking, I think, any movie.
Yeah, vamp scale? Man, some pretty unique weapons too. I could give it a 10. I could be convinced.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I was
No,
not
no,
expecting
give it a 10.
Jace to say 10.
Give it a 10.
I mean, as you guys are kind of convincing me. I was going to say 8, but look. Hey, look.
Okay.
You guys are
All right.
kind of convincing me because I was like, I mean, Mad Max Fury Road
Okay.
is about cars.
Oh, no. We
And it
no,
kind of,
this
it's
is-
just
this-
we're talking about
from the
vampire
opening
movies.
to
This
the
was-
end, it's cars. Some of the stuff Blade's doing is not vampire specific. Hitting people with swords and stuff, that's not really vampire specific.
That's what I'd do if I was a vampire.
A lot of the rest of it is, but I was trying to think of what would be a more vampire movie. I can think of maybe What We Do in the Shadows, maybe, but that's a different kind of vampire movie.
Van Helsing,
I
2004.
guess I'd be comfortable going at
That
10.
movie fucking slaps.
I'd be comfortable
Yeah.
going at 10 because I can't imagine them putting more vampire stuff
Yeah.
in. And if they did, they'd just take the stuff they do have and make it more vampire specific rather than more generic.
Yeah, they have a vampire council. I can only think of more sucking scenes. That's the only way you could make this
he
more...
sucks on more people rather than slices them.
So we're in agreement then. This is 10 out of 10 vampire movie. Movie meter, I'm going to give it a fucking 7, man. This is a fun movie. It's not perfect. I'm not going to defend it. But I have fun watching it, all right? It's a fun watch. I'd recommend it. Kicks ass. A 7.
Right there, up there with you, above average, I would say, above a 5. I'm going to give it a 6. It's kind of a cozy movie for me, but also the techno comes on and you're sitting on your couch and you're like,
Dude, I've been bumping that album ever since yesterday.
It made me want to watch the third one. So, I feel like this
the
is a
second one?
good movie. I remember the third one because I've seen it a lot, but I don't recall the second one. So, a 6. A 6. Me.
I might have to go with a 4.
No, Ryan.
If you want it to be a
low.
7 or an 8, just watch Hellboy.
It's a good movie. I like that
It's not
movie.
vampire,
movie,
but it's
so,
the same.
yeah.
I think Hellboy did everything that this movie's trying to do, but did it well.
Where's the techno and the orgies, dude?
I don't particularly care about my movies having techno.
That's the only thing that'll raise it above a 7 for me.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, folks. That was Blade. All right. If you want a vampire season, maybe just DM us, and maybe we would do it if there was 100 people saying that they want a vampire movie season. But let us know what you think about Blade. Should we watch Blade Trinity? I don't know. But Jace, it's your pick next week. Did you want to reveal it now, or do you want to just text us?
It's going to be a random pick.
Oh.
So,
What?
Wait,
a
no,
guaran-
no.
Wait. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Jace is
It was
you're
your
gonna-
idea to not do a theme because you wanted to do movies that we actually wanted to watch.
Well,
And then
maybe Jace has.
Yeah,
maybe Jace planned for this.
yeah.
Maybe
I think
Jace
it's a
has
guarantee that we'll want to watch it.
Okay. Are you gonna chaos us? Are you gonna wheel of chaos us?
I wasn't gonna wheel cast you. I was just gonna
okay.
move through
I thought
was gonna-
you were saying you're just gonna put a bunch of movies on the Wheel of Chaos and then pick one.
No, I mean there's just
Jace's expression is making me nervous. Like he's gonna do something.
Okay. Pick a
No.
Both of you pick a number.
No, you have response.
between
I picked a
1
freaking
and
Swedish
1, 2, 3,
art
4,
house
5, 6,
surrealist
7, 8,
horror
9,
film.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Ryan, that's your
Each
fault.
of you
I'm
pick a
sorry.
number between 1 and 16.
Okay. And if it's higher than Ryan's, do I win?
No.
Fuck. Okay. Ryan, you go first.
11.
I'm gonna pick 14.
Either you have a quarter.
How many of these are you?
Yeah.
Like, how many layers?
No,
of
this will be good. This will
probability?
be good. This is just
Okay.
how was he picked.
It's
right, Ryan,
a
no
British
cheating.
20 pence coin. Does that count?
Are the sides different on those?
Yeah.
Or is it just the
one that has a queen and one of them is like a duck or something.
Okay.
What?
The duck will be tails.
What do you want me to do with it?
I swallow it.
Flip it. You pick one. One of you is the 14. One of
Okay.
you is
I
11.
want heads. I'm a heads boy.
Ducks. I'll do ducks. All right. And he's gonna
It's
unfurl it.
heads up.
He flipped it.
Of
Which
course I flipped
Okay.
it.
was
I'm an
you?
adult.
Which
Yeah.
was Ryan?
That's Ryan.
Which
That's
was
Ryan.
11?
It's Persona again.
Okay. So that's the 1990s.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay.
God, Jason, this is
gonna
gonna be
be-
a stinker. I'm gonna be so pissed.
It's
I
Blade
look.
2. Dude.
Oh
It's
my
Blade
God,
2.
Ryan! If you haven't watched this, End of Evangelion is on here.
Oh my God, please.
Okay, I'll let you in on what I'm doing. Because you helped me pick, you helped me narrow it down, which is funny. Because
Okay.
1990s. I'm looking at the Letterboxd top 250 films list.
Oh.
Okay, and
Yay.
you picked. I did a list. Number 11 was like the. Thank God we didn't get number 11. Was like the 1970s. So we're in the 90s.
Okay.
Princess Mononoke is on here at 73 out of top 250.
Oh man, that movie goes hard, dude. That
I just
movie's
watched it
fucking
not long
rules.
ago, like 2 months ago.
Fuck. Yeah, I didn't. That's what I was worried about. Have you guys seen Heat?
No,
No.
wait, I want to see Heat though.
1995, directed by
Mann?
Michael Mann.
Let's do it.
That's on my list.
It's a heist movie.
Yes, let's do it, dude. I love Michael
Wait,
Mann, and I
is
haven't
this
seen
the
it.
one with the meme where he's like, "She got a big ass"? The Al Pacino meme.
All right. A movie none of us have seen from
Yes.
the 90s on the Letterboxd top 250 list.
Okay.
Arguably kind of low. Well, no, 167. There are thousands of movies. It's not low.
Yeah. I've heard of Heat. It's like a cult. It's like not a cult film, but like a lot of people like Heat. Like it's a oft memed movie. I think.
I also don't think I've ever seen a movie with Al Pacino in it.
Haven't seen The Godfather.
No.
Interesting. So all of my Serpico references just go right over your head.
The fuck is Serpico?
All
wait,
right,
I've
I
heard
got
of
you
this
guys.
movie.
I'm in a
Okay.
lot of pain. I should.
Okay. All right. Okay.
night.
Next time we're watching Heat. Thanks for joining us.
Scrape and lick you later.